Welcome to Softcore History.
What is up? Welcome to Softcore History. I am your host, Rob Fox. So, we have something fucking weird and not from the last 100 years this week. And as always, I'm joined by normal-faced Dan Regester.
Sounds like a subtle dig.
No. I was just saying your face is normal.
Are you saying I only know about history in the last 100 years?
Oh, no, I'm saying that, I am saying that you and Jake only pick topics from the last, 150 years.
No, I my wheelhouse is 1800s, 16 to 1800s.
Yeah, I guess when it's Jake that's done lots of the, 20th century bios.
Because he loves conspiracies.
Well, he tried to do the one, he pitched it last week. He was like, can I do something from, 2008? And it was just like, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
We went up to Enron. Actually, fuck you. You did an episode on the fucking Texas snowstorm.
Yeah, that's true. That's called living inside of history.
And we're joined... hypocrite.
Yeah, we're joined this week by a special guest. Jake is out of town celebrating his anniversary with his wife and dog.
I actually crashed it.
I know.
Their anniversary?
Yeah.
We're getting to the special guest, me.
Well, we'll get to you.
Well, then we can talk about you crashing Jake's thing in a second.
Come on, man.
We're joined by, you may remember her from an earlier episode. Veronica Ruckh is back without her cards this time, though.
She's a
What
witch.
is up? Yes. The gay witch.
She's a witch.
The bi witch.
Yeah.
Really.
I thought it was Pan Witch.
Floats like a duck.
Well,
Whatever
look,
you want.
hit me back up in June. We'll talk all about it during Pride. But
Hey, remember when you pulled the towers on me?
yeah,
That was fun.
The 9/11 card.
I know.
Yeah, if
How
you're-
you doing?
I
Since
think
then.
I'm okay.
You said you thought you had a blood clot in your leg today.
Yeah, I do. I might have a blood clot or a cyst in the back of my knee.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Ew.
two things. I don't know.
So
I don't know. Not like an actual cyst.
a cyst isn't bad. A blood clot could kill you, I feel like.
Yeah. So what?
Like
it's
an
either,
athletic
it can
cyst.
go either way.
I forget what the name is.
Right.
An athletic cyst?
Yeah. I think that's
I'm going to call all of my injuries that from now on.
athletic.
Oh, it's an athletic cellulite. It's fine.
It's from too many squats.
It's from all the squats I do. Yeah. Love that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I honestly, no. Anyone who has cellulite should actually just be like, is it from a combat sport? Like, I was just getting hit
Yes.
so much.
My muscle has tethered.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
you
what
crash your motorcycle and,
Yeah.
it's from the road.
Or if you're just getting bigger like me, you just be building mass. Cultivating mass. Like it's always saying.
Right.
But yeah, we have a special guest for a special topic. Unfortunately, my wife couldn't make it. She was going to be here too because she's pregnant, and that's the topic this week.
She's a coward.
Yeah.
She didn't want to face me head on. I get it.
That is it.
Not that this is a debate show or anything.
She was just like, Dan intimidates me.
Yeah.
I just need to stick up for Courtney here and no, that's not what.
Well, no, it would just make things weird because we used to do the show at Rob's house, and I would always show up early before Rob got there. And
Before I got home from work
Yeah.
or something.
Oh,
And Dan would just
you
be-
two would stare each other down.
Yeah, Dan would-
All right, I see it.
There's a little tension there,
Okay.
Dan would just stand in the corner and get erections, and
Right.
Courtney would text me frantically.
Right.
And I would have to be
so-
like, I don't know, we can only record here.
That's what she told you.
What
sure.
did she tell you, Dan?
I'll be the
that
bad
she was
guy here.
intimidated by you?
I checked the
Because-
Furbo. The erection part's real.
Well, we'll see what happens when the baby comes out.
Well, I mean, if it looks like you, that's
Ew.
fine.
It's a get out of jail free
kind
card.
of nice.
Yeah.
Aw.
No, I mean, like, he can have it.
Oh.
Yeah, good luck.
Best of luck, bud.
Yeah, enjoy paying for that.
I thought you were like, it would be fine if he looks like you. I thought you were like just being kind to Dan.
No, so I actually
but-
I have beef with his baby already
Yeah,
Why is that?
because I think he's a coward too.
two
Sure.
also. As in, like, I'm a coward as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone's...
Cowards.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like the
Rob
cut
and
of
the cowardly baby.
yeah. I
Got it.
don't like the cut of Rob Fox the Fourth's jib. All right.
I thought he was looking pretty strong in the ultrasound. So, but we'll see. That vaccine might
Wait.
turn him into a...
I haven't seen the ultrasound.
He looks like
really?
a little bitch boy.
Oh, I'll
for
show
being
you.
real.
I'll show you it after. I don't think I posted it to social.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Please don't
Damn.
post photos of your baby on our social media platforms.
I promised the other day that I was never going to post naked pics of my baby to Instagram.
What about just a butt?
No.
What?
Just a little baby butt?
No.
Come on.
I don't find that. It's fucked up to have that on an Instagram because like I'm scrolling and it's like thought, and I'm in a mood, and then it's a baby butt.
Not a baby dick, Dan. A baby butt.
What if he has a hog, though?
I don't want to see babies in the bath. Well, I'm not putting that online.
What if he has a bigger hog than you?
What if we just start a
Just
website
comes out,
called,
yeah. Baby
no,
hogs?
all right. Whatever you're going to, let's just nip it right there.
I was going to say babieswithhogs.com, and it's just
Don't-
babies with pigs.
Yeah, it's actually
Look,
sweet and
I'm
adorable.
pro baby butt. I'll just say that.
Do you still have
I think
baby
you're wrong.
fever? I feel like you probably still do.
Me?
right?
Baby
Yeah.
fever? Oh, yeah. I'm
only had it
hoping
for
to be
about
knocked out
10
up by
years
the end
now.
of this podcast just from talking about like
Right.
another immaculate
Right.
conception.
Well, I'll go walk away, and Dan can just stare at you
No.
menacingly from the corner for a while.
No, it'll be one of those god babies that I'm always hearing about.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But let's start out with, so I kind of went in
Like
order.
a demigod baby? Like a Herculean baby?
Well, Hercules was the product of fucking between a god and a mortal
Oh,
woman.
no, I just meant like, she said god baby, so he's just like a fucking...
Yeah, no,
Jacked
I'm just
baby.
going to mysteriously, immaculately.
Yeah.
Please don't go
conceive.
there.
Although, technically, with modern technology, that's perfect.
It will be an immaculate conception, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, you could be a virgin and get pregnant, get it inseminated. Like,
You
that's,
sure could.
Yeah.
God,
I
you-
will not be a virgin. But yes.
I mean, you sit on the wrong public toilet. Bang,
Jesus
there's
Christ.
a baby.
That's how you.
I don't think. Where did you go to school? I fear your sex ed.
Our Lady of Fatima. Elementary.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. We're all Catholic school kids here.
I only went till the second grade.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
went K through 8.
Okay.
I went K
And
through.
then I went to public high school.
12.
Oh, I went K through 12. Really pre-K through 12. So
All right.
I'm fucking in it. All right. So we're doing the pregnancy in antiquity, in ancient history. I was going to do just through the ages,
Right.
but
A lot of bitches been pregnant.
a lot of bitches been pregnant.
Yeah.
And man, it actually might be crazier in the Middle Ages than in ancient history. But since I'm going to do more than one of these episodes now, because there's just so much wild shit, might as well just do them in order.
God, there's
Love
so
it.
many babies in history.
A lot of babies.
Yeah, like
Why
you
do we
could say that
congratulate
every
people?
person would like.
Like, is it really that hard to
Started
have a
this
baby?
pregnancy.
No, I'm not going to congratulate you on doing pretty much what every other human has done in the history of mankind.
Well, it's harder to have a baby now because idiots like me and my wife want to do it in our 30s instead of when we're 17 and 14 like God intended.
It's true.
Okay.
And you have had like a little kind of microwave in your pocket for the last 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
The microwave in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we fucked up by waiting this long. My body has been begging me for a baby for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't know. Is this too much? Am I going to get graphic here? I think I got my first period at 11. That was
Oh, wow.
21 years ago.
Good Lord. I feel like that's early.
I
It
didn't
is
get
a little
I didn't
early.
get my first period till I was 17.
That's just your Crohn's.
Yes, that's
That's just you bleeding out your butt.
I did bleed out my
But
butt.
that makes sense. I'm much more mature than you.
Yes.
I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
21 years ago.
So nature was like, yeah, she's ready.
She's ready.
You were
And
like
my-
watching Powder Puff Girls.
Right. And it's just been like every month for 20 years, my body's like, not yet. Not yet.
You got any left?
God. Well, yeah, actually, I think the younger you start, the
The
more you have.
Oh, okay. So you're just like overflowing, essentially.
It's overflowing. Yeah.
Just couldn't
Yeah.
take it anymore. Yes.
I think so.
So anyway, yeah, that's the whole point. You shouldn't be doing it in your 30s. Like maybe if you're like some fucking French king, and you're on your like fourth wife or something. But in general, like ancient people doing it pretty young.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not going to get to this guy, so I'll just bring it up now. I don't even know how to say, how do you actually say his first name? Genghis Khan?
That you said it right.
Okay.
Not ancient history though. That would be the Middle Ages.
I know.
Yeah, we always talk about.
we always tend I tend a little bit more recent.
Yeah. More recent than antiquity.
But that man, a lot of bursts. A lot of bursts with that man.
He fucked. It's like something like 1 in 10 people on Earth.
Well,
ever-
he raped, right?
A lot of rape. Yeah.
Yeah.
He fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he did fuck.
Okay.
Look, who's to say what the percentages were? But yes, it was. Both columns were filled up. Probably one more than the other.
Well,
Certainly one more than the other.
Yeah.
he fucked. Who he fucked didn't necessarily
Okay,
fuck.
don't call.
All right.
Yes.
I just.
Anyway.
Dan.
But anyway, I wanted to go kind of in order of the process of pregnancy, if you will,
Wait.
from
Well, first,
birth control
Okay.
through pregnancy tests and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I have
first
some.
there's a bird.
I
that
have some
brings it down.
ancient birth control facts.
Ooh.
I didn't look up the stork stuff. I'm sorry. I don't think that's ancient.
The stork.
I think that's like 1950s. Someone was like, it's not comes.
Yeah, that makes sense. In
Yeah.
the 50s, they're like, wait, we don't want to talk about this ever.
Yeah.
So
Bastard in a
and
basket.
then the stork.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot you never saw that movie.
What?
There Will Be Blood.
Nope.
Nope.
Haven't seen it.
Reference goes over your head.
Well, no, because it's really just a reference to Moses
Well, that's
that
it.
they put into that movie then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
or to like,
Moses, familiar.
yeah,
Moses
heard
kind
him.
of.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, you got like a little free cruise.
But so there was a very popular ancient birth control, so popular that it made the plant go extinct in like Greek and Roman times.
Shit. It's a plant.
Yeah, the ancient Greeks and Romans, they use a plant called silphium. Yeah,
Okay.
silphium as birth control. It was used for a bunch of medicine,
And
but
this is a condom or like a morning after pill?
it's like birth control, I think.
that's-
like it stops.
Okay,
Like it
so it's
stops ovulation, I think.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
not a more.
daily
It's
pill.
definitely not a morning after or a condom.
So these
I think
like
it's more-
ancient bitches are like checking their phone, like, and then an hour later they're like, "Fuck, I forgot to take my birth control."
Dude, kind of, I think. You know, they're just counting back from their last period. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm 12 and 4 months now. So this is how many periods I've had. No, but like, so they used like the sap. They used the sap, I think, to like you would take a birth control pill kind of.
Wow.
But more in the moment.
Okay.
You know, not like every month I'm taking it to stop it. Or whatever.
Okay, so like pre-sex.
Yeah. And I think it was more like it was either pre-sex or like, I know I'm going to fuck this week. So.
Like a reverse Viagra, like let me just.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
It was
Cool.
cocaine.
Well, it was a sap, but kind of, yeah. And it was popular like cocaine
Cocaine
was.
dick.
It came from the North African city of Cyrene, which you would be familiar with if you played Total War, Rome Total War.
Did you play that?
I'm not familiar.
Very
No,
familiar?
Believe it or not, I'm
Crazy.
not
I'm
familiar.
not either.
But it was the main export of this North African city. So it was essentially like especially in Roman times, like the Mediterranean was just a super highway of trade. So
Okay.
imagine that this city just has this one product that they're just shooting out to the
Yeah,
entire
just
Roman
getting
Empire.
ransacked.
Like all through, the United States of antiquity, essentially, all through the Roman Empire, just going out. It was so integral to their economy that it was on their coins. One coin.
What? It was on their coin?
That was what was making them money.
Wow.
They
Man.
people loved fucking.
Yeah. They loved. I like that you put the D on
Yeah,
it.
Love.
shit,
People
well,
aren't as into it anymore.
They no longer care for it. But once upon a time,
Listen,
believe it or not.
I've seen so many goddamn Vice articles that say we don't fuck anymore. So yeah, you're onto something.
Gen Z doesn't fuck.
Gen Z is
That's
a bunch
not
of pussies.
surprising because they don't talk to each other in real life.
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
They just do TikTok dances.
It'll be cool one day
We
when
sound
it's
old as fuck. Just them and their little TikTok dances.
And their little middle part in their hair.
one day. Have you guys ever like heard like the
Both
stuff like
men and women.
Yeah. Have you guys heard like this like the theory from like Freakonomics back in the day that
Mm.
abortion caused the drop in the crime rate in the 90s or
Oh,
whatever?
yeah.
I kind of think there's gonna be another drop in crime rate, and Gen Z is gonna be like, we figured it out. We're peaceful and kind to each other. And it's like, no, you never leave your room.
Right.
You never leave your room.
Right.
So you can't
COVID
commit a crime. Like
was
actually, you're
pretty
still
perfect for
making
them.
like weird deep fakes and you're doing like online crimes like child porn and buying meth off the black web.
Right.
But
And just like bullying people into suicide
yes,
and shit like that.
they'll do that, but there just won't be liquor store robberies
They don't-
because
Right.
they don't drink.
They don't
Right.
bully
and they
either.
don't. They're not going to commit violent crimes.
They
Is
don't
that
bully.
really true? Is that do they really not?
No, these kids
What, vote?
dance
Drink.
now. They only dance.
They don't. Yeah, they don't drink as much. They don't do drugs as much. It's going to be a bunch of kids that like they're because Gen Z are kind of birthed by I think Gen X for the most part.
Right.
So like their Gen X parents are going to be like 75, getting drunk and smoking weed, and these Gen Z kids are going to be like,
Right.
"Mom and Dad, stop it."
Well, so you know what? I feel like could be possible. Gen X, they love their drugs, and it's like maybe there's just more openness in the house about it has made them like not need to do it as much.
Is
like
it the
you know,
coin
like
has the
Europeans-
coin is flipped? So like
Yeah.
Gen X is raised by boomers, and so is millennials.
Well, Gen X is raised by who was before them? The silent generation, the greatest generation?
Boomers
something
are
like that?
long enough that they raised both,
they did both.
both millennials and
Yeah,
and
so our
Gen
parents
X.
were too strict, so we were like,
Too
we
buttoned
need
up.
to rage.
Yeah.
And now they're like, no, my parents don't care if I drink, so it's
Yeah, so
really
now
not that
them-
fuck this.
appealing.
Them
What
rebelling.
my parents hate me doing is being on a screen all day.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Bob and Dad.
Them rebelling
Right.
is actually not doing drugs. And
What?
that-
Yeah, rebelling is
Right.
not doing drugs and
Right,
fucking.
Right. Wow.
So like
Yikes, they got the
as-
shit on the stick. I'm sorry.
This is the
They
least
really
cool
did.
generation
Their
that's come
fashion
about.
is also like I was talking about this the
Trash.
other day. Well, it's not trash. It's great for me, like being a millennial coming into early to mid 30s body, like this like baggier clothes, being in fashion. That's great for me. They're gonna look back and be like, I can't believe I was like 20 years old and not rocking like slut dresses every day of my life. Like why did
Yeah.
they're not wearing that?
I
Like I
can't
was naked
think
all the time at
of
that
a
age.
single outfit I regret in my childhood or teenage years.
I
just-
just don't
Nah,
care.
they're
a
separate.
lot
They're
of,
just
lot
not
of Hollister
taking
and stuff or whatever.
advantage of like, I don't know. They're covering it up.
There's a few
Yeah.
famous
Less
Stars and Stripes
modesty.
shirts
That's what
I
I'm
regret.
preaching here.
Yeah, more baggy tee. I saw a tweet that was like, Gen Z looks like they went up to their parents' attic and put on all the clothes in there at the same time.
Yeah.
Like a giant Mickey Mouse T-shirt and just like old shitty New
Yeah.
Balance tennis shoes. Yeah, that's whatever. But so this coin, it had a woman touching the plant and then pointing to her vagina. So it was just like, this is for my pussy. Like this is for
Oh,
No
my
subtlety.
God.
No.
Just
Yeah.
right on the nose.
That's that's
That's
amazing.
on the coin?
That's on the coin. Yeah, it's on the coin.
What's the coin made of? Is it a heavy coin? Do you slam the coin down? and
I
get
think back
yourself a
then the
drink?
currency was typically bronze for like the everyday bullshit.
That's amazing. Do you have a picture of that?
I had a picture of one that just had the plant on it. This
Okay.
one, but let me see if I can find it, and I'll show it to you. Other facts about this real quick. What else is there right here? Oh, like this too. The seed of the silphium plant was heart-shaped,
Wow.
and that's where they think that symbology came from.
Really?
Yeah, because romance equals getting to fuck without a baby.
So I thought the heart came from
the
like a
human
woman's
body.
No,
from behind.
no.
That's what I've heard.
It was a
Well, that's a peach.
yeah. It was this plant
Wow.
had a heart-shaped seed, and it just became because it was like nothing says love like getting to fuck for free.
Wow.
How were the bodies back then? I feel like it was just everybody was flat.
No, it just depends.
think-
Like your peasant people, probably pretty malnourished, and your
Yeah, but they're doing all the work. They're probably built a little bit.
yeah,
Probably
but
pretty skinny.
there's also like no protein back then. People didn't really eat a ton of meat,
Did anybody
especially if you were
have
lower
tits
class.
or
It
ass?
was beans.
I think it depends on what country you're in.
Yeah, also
when did-
completely
Tits
depends on the
and ass.
ethnicity and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like gas didn't come about till about 1980.
Okay, Dan. No, it's people had asses.
No, it was all pancake butt.
No, only for white people.
Oh, that's true.
That's just the only history you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were
What's the
butts.
history
Yeah,
they
I'm sure if
teach
you
us?
you look at Rome, you look at like ancient China, yeah, there's no ass. But
Damn, I'm
Egypt
not down.
and maybe I don't know, some African empires and other Middle Eastern empires might be some ass.
Yeah, did Cleopatra have a donk?
There was she was Greek, so I don't know about that. Maybe. But talk
She's-
about
she's
like
like-
Persia, like, you know.
She's
we're
on the
talking-
border, Greeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
they're the borderline.
And off-white. That's what I say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you and your
You're stealing
Italians.
valor. You're white.
Off-white. Greeks and Italians are the same thing.
They are the same thing.
That is the same thing.
You are. It's like
yeah, and Greeks are white too.
Off-white.
Yeah.
Eggshell white.
Eggshell.
whatever. I'm paper white, so it's fine.
You're invisible.
I am fucking
You're
translucent. Yeah, I don't get X-rays. They just put a spotlight
You're a
behind my
specter.
back, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Some other birth control methods.
Yes.
In 1500 BC, around that time, Egyptians recommended making what amounts to a spermicidal lube out of acacia gum, dates, fiber, and honey. Some other shit like that. You could also put crocodile poop in your vagina.
Okay. Ew.
Well,
What?
it's not too far off of what we're doing now.
Why?
I think that it is. What?
The worst part about that, by the way, is risking death to shove poop up your vag. Like, you got to go where crocodiles hang out and be like, I just don't want to have a baby. This is worth it, walking into a crocodile den to just get some crocodile shit.
We're all friends here. You've probably put worse.
Than crocodile shit? You think there has been worse than crocodile shit in my pussy? Dan.
We're all friends here.
This would be a good time to dunk on a guy you used to date.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I'm throwing it up for you.
As a matter of fact.
He's worse than crocodile shit. Yeah, you could have just dunked on.
It's an alley-oop for you, and you missed the dunk.
Apparently, they did it like, I guess it was supposed to like go back to the cervix or whatever, and just kind of block the sperm from getting in.
So it was just like a solid mass that. Like,
yeah, it was dry. Okay. It was supposed to be kind of dried crocodile dung. Oh my God. Which is that better?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be dry for long, I suppose.
People are drinking.
I think it is better.
People are drinking cat poop coffee now, right?
Yeah,
What?
they are.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like
Cat shit coffee?
Like panther poop coffee.
Ugh.
It's like
is that like eating like a tiger dick to get
it's
your?
like really expensive.
I've got to say though, I think I would rather do that than
Shove
poop in the
yeah.
vagina. That's not
Seems
a
like
good
an infection
move.
waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of women are like this, that I have no idea when the last time I've been to any doctor is besides the gynecologist. Like, I just feel like vaginal health is like very important.
You need a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
It's like you own like women have, like if it's like a car, like women have like a Land Rover, like a Range Rover or something,
Right.
like something, or like a Prius, like something that requires a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
And guys are driving like a fucking Ford Taurus that
Right.
just like never needs to be looked at.
And it's just
It's
like
my
your
first
most
vehicle.
prized possession. I don't know. It's just like if something were really wrong with it, you want to know.
But also, wait, does the gynecologist do anything with like breast health as well? Is it like a full-on women's health situation?
Yeah.
Because I know gyno would just be technically, but
yeah, I think you know what? I feel that maybe the last time I didn't get a breast exam, I don't know. We're kind of too
you might as well
young.
lump it all together.
I think they usually do. I feel like in the past they've like
That's
checked
dangerous
me.
information.
We
It depends
don't
on your
have
genes.
a dick doctor.
My family has really bad breast cancer genetics.
Oh, really?
And I have a cousin who got a double mastectomy at like preventive double mastectomy at like 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what they do to
My
us?
grandpa had breast cancer,
The-
missing a nip.
Wow.
Do you know what doctors do to
Wow.
us?
Yeah, they stick a finger up your butt.
They don't. Well, not yet. They don't do that till you're 40.
Yeah.
And me too, because I have Crohn's. But they just, it's cold in the doctor's office. They ask you to pull your pants down real quick. Obviously, it's not the best showing for you. And he just awkwardly grabs your balls as you look away, and he asks you to cough twice. And he's like, all right, you're good.
It does not sound that bad.
Well, that's why, they don't come in right away, because the nurse comes in, weighs you and all that stuff, and then she leaves, and it's like 5 minutes before the doctor comes in because or at least my doctor is nice enough to let me just tug on my wiener the whole time.
So yeah, I just
to keep
shrivel
it,
away.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
just to keep it, looking respectable.
It gets so cold that it's pretty much grows inside me.
I'm sorry. That is fragile. You need honestly.
No, the only time I was ever ashamed of my penis was when I got a STD test, and the doctor had to put a Q-tip up my pee hole.
Oh my God.
Oh, see, the only time I'm ever ashamed of my penis is when I'm with any other woman.
But he had to get really. Oh.
Aw.
No.
Aw. That'll do.
I'm never ashamed of my penis, personally.
You can just swap them out.
Yeah, true.
Get
It's
all
like,
kinds
what am I
of flavors.
feeling today?
Yeah.
Am I feeling the, I was going to say Ron Jeremy, but no, he's canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Well, it's
he?
just like, do you want to? Yeah, believe it or not, he was a creep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always the ones you suspect the most.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Sexual assault when his job was literally all he had to do was call his agent.
Yeah. Well, it's just at that point, I think you're just doing it so much that you just think you can do it whenever.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like,
it's just
really normalized for you.
Yeah. You just forget.
Yeah. Well, isn't that James Dean too? The other male porn
Oh,
star?
I thought you were
was-
talking about James Dean.
The dead 50s movie star.
Yeah,
No,
like James
no.
Dean. I was like, I don't know.
No,
Did
our James
I
Dean.
actually thought it was Jimmy Dean, the sausage magnet.
He's also probably got a
Wait,
checkered past.
you're not talking about like frozen food, like Jimmy Dean's?
Yeah, that Jimmy Dean, the sausage man.
Okay.
No, we are. Yeah, we're not.
He is
Anyone
the
who-
sausage man.
I have some more birth control stuff
More
here.
birth control stuff.
The Greek physician Soranus of Ephesus, who is a very famous medical personality, I guess, if we want to put it in 21st century terms, from ancient Greece, said you should put some lead on your cervix.
Oh no.
So that probably didn't work out well for a lot of chicks.
You don't think so?
Oh no.
There's a lot of, nothing wrong with
wow,
lead in the
another
paint.
woman died with a.
Another woman died, so I didn't have to father a child.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like,
Well, they used to put
why
lead
are
in
all
the-
these
the
chicks are
wine.
dying and they just have like a 4-foot tumor coming out of their vagina? What's going on here?
Well, that's
Yikes.
a child, Rob, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. My wife does have a big old tumor right now. Tumors grow teeth and hair, so who's to say you're not just pregnant when you have a tumor?
Ew, do they really?
Yeah, sometimes, not all the
Yikes.
time. Not like every tumor has like a fucking tooth in it.
Okay, that needs to be like, everybody needs to know that to say back to these like crazy anti-abortion people. Like, also tumors grow teeth and hair. So like, shut up. Let me go to Planned Parenthood.
But
Hold
not,
up.
but not eyes and a heart and a soul.
Yeah. You're sucking out that
Some
soul.
alive people don't have souls. So like, I just.
That's fair. He also said though, this guy was not totally stupid, because he was also like, you should not do it while you're ovulating.
That's smart.
Yeah, he was like, you shouldn't do that.
They've known that shit for a long
Yeah,
time.
he was like, maybe avoid doing that.
Do you
And
think they just looked at the moon and they're like, not today?
yeah, pretty much. Like, it feels, can't do it, or actually get some syphilium or whatever the fuck, and maybe we can do it then.
The tides are turning.
Yeah. He also, but that was his only really good tip, because he also said a good way to not get pregnant is to do just the tip. Avoid deep penetration. Just go halvesies in.
Oh, they
the right
they
idea,
moisted.
but the wrong
Yeah.
execution.
the originators of
I mean,
moisting.
don't they always know about pulling out, like for all of history, pretty much?
Yeah, but who wants to do that? That's the worst way.
Is it?
That's the worst form of birth control.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
because
feel
then
like
you're
it's
just
the-
jacking off.
Yeah.
Oh, so for me, it's the best form. I'm like, I forgot about that. I was like, really?
No,
I think
I'd
it's
much
kinda the
rather.
best one.
I'd much rather pull out than use a condom. So yes.
Man, I don't know about that, actually. I'll be totally honest. I think I'd rather just be able to do it all at once and not have to pull out and just beat off. Right? Like, it's like you go to a restaurant and you order and have wine and you're having great conversation, and then you got to leave and just go cook some pizza rolls in your microwave at home.
Yeah, but then you get to be like Spider-Man and just throw webs.
Yeah, I don't really toss webs like that.
Ew. Just
Care to comment to
Not,
be.
we'll get more into semen
How
in a bit.
about just throwing rope?
All right, I've had enough. No more semen. We're good.
We do have actually one more thing later,
Great.
but so we'll give you a break.
Okay, thank you.
He also said after sex to squat, sneeze, and then cleanse the vagina and drink something cold.
Well, the
I
great.
feel like at least half of that seems like they're still saying that.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
Right.
There's
That
a-
sounds like something your grandma would tell you.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
great prophet.
Like, drink some ice cold water and make yourself sneeze.
the great prophet Future told us I fucked and made her pee. So like, yeah, no.
I think peeing is.
That helps.
I
Well,
think
it
it
prevents the UTI. It gets all the
have
crocodile
to-
shit out.
She's got to go pee after. I'm sorry. Like if you come inside, you got to go pee.
You know, so do you
And it's
have
just-
to go
yes,
pee?
So does the guy. You both got to clear the system out.
You gotta clear it out.
Otherwise, like you get that UTI, you get that yeast infection.
So what I've heard, and don't quote me on this, but that the reason people get pregnant from like pre-cum is because the guy didn't pee in between. Like it's really from the last time. He didn't clear out the.
There was just some old
the
sperm
pipes.
hanging out.
Yeah, and that it's not really. Is pre-cum real? I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It lubes you up.
I'm down to not believe in pre-cum with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Pre-cum
It
truthers.
makes no difference.
Yeah, that does
for
make a
me.
difference.
Yeah.
I do like the viper pee though.
The what?
The viper pee.
What's that?
So like after you come and you go to pee, it's got to like change obviously the tubes that it's coming out of. So when it first comes out, it's kind of sprayed in like different directions.
No, that's because your pee hole's stuck together from your
Yeah,
sticky jizz.
it's one. It's one.
One. Yes, it's one
Tube.
tube, one highway.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of like alternates.
No.
It's an alternating highway.
That reminds me of the best sex.
There's different on ramps, but
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's the same tube.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
There's a
it's-
frontage road for sure, like in Texas.
That reminds me of the best sex information I ever got when I was in like 4th grade. This kid came up to me, who was in my class, and he was like, "Robbie, you know what the difference? Do you want to know what the difference between oral sex and regular sex is?" And I was like, "Okay,
woman comes.
okay, sure." Oh, and he was like, "I was like, yeah, sure." And he was like, Oral sex is when you fuck a girl in her pee hole. And regular sex is when you fuck a girl in her fuck hole. And then he went on, and then he walked away. It was at recess. He just walked up to me.
A man ahead of his time.
I wonder what he thinks he meant.
I think he thinks he meant that.
Yeah.
I think he
means.
thinks he meant that chicks were double-barreled. And that is what I then thought for an uncomfortably long time.
When did you learn that you were wrong?
I mean, probably like 6th grade, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from
But
your
I mean, like-
experience, V, how many guys actually munch box?
Not a lot of 3rd graders.
Not a lot of 3rd graders.
In general?
No, 3rd grade.
3rd grade?
Just starting at 3rd grade.
I don't know.
Well, you were in public school starting in 3rd grade. I feel like you should.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't doing all that.
Oh,
in
okay.
third
Between
grade, believe it
taking
or not.
smoke breaks
My
in the
smoke-
bathroom in 3rd grade. You're from Jersey. We know. You don't have to.
I was not in Jersey yet in 3rd grade. though.
You're still in the Bronx?
I was. No, we had moved from the Bronx to upstate New York, and by upstate I mean like 45 minutes north of the
Yeah.
city. But yeah, it wasn't until 7th grade that I was in Jersey.
Oh.
So that's when all of my smoke breaks and
Started happening.
I can't even joke about pretending I was having sex in 7th grade. I was not. Straight up not. I didn't even kiss a boy for like several years.
All right. Well, then you wouldn't have needed these next things, which are some ancient pregnancy tests.
Ooh.
Yeah. Some of them surprisingly effective,
Okay.
weirdly. The ancient Egyptians, what they would do is lay out some wheat and barley seeds and then have the woman just pee on them constantly for a couple of days. Every time she had to pee, you go go outside and pee on the seeds. And if the seeds sprouted, she was pregnant.
Is that
Is that real?
real?
They found it to be like they did a test on that in like the 60s. So
Yeah.
LOL at whatever chick had to do that.
Right.
70% effective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even have anything
Why?
snarky to say about that.
Yeah.
That-
Figured it
yeah.
out.
All right.
So the chick would just waddle out into a field where they laid out the wheat and barley seeds and just
She probably got paid
Yeah.
some money for that. I would do that.
Honestly, I think
for
we
like
were.
$1,000, I would.
We
pee
are-
I'm
on
talking
some
about the
barley.
ancient Egyptian women.
Yeah,
No,
we-
that
yeah.
sucks.
We
They're-
But I'm saying in the
underestimate.
60s, I would pee on some barley for $1,000 for
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
easily.
But, well, it's you have to be like getting banged and then do it. You know what I mean?
It was that
Yeah,
or
yeah.
join the Mansons.
Well, no, they probably need the non-pregnant person as well.
As like a control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
I would do it.
Either way.
Sign me up. If anybody's looking to replicate that experiment and wants to give me $1,000,
Maybe
I will
like
do
a.
it.
What if
Well,
someone
well-
makes you that offer, but it's a high school kid doing a science project?
well, not high
That
school.
feels illegal. I don't know.
Science fair ends in like 8th grade.
Well, then it's an 8th grader doing the science.
You
fair
that
bust out
feels
the
more illegal.
you bust out the trifold. Yeah, you get that 3rd place ribbon.
It's fine. It's a Gen Z kid. They're all asexual.
Anyway.
They're not. It can't be illegal. He does.
Move
Those thoughts
on.
aren't even in his head.
What else are they doing for
we don't
They
give
also-
enough credit, by the way, to these ancient civilizations. I feel like we could be in a much better place. if-
Yeah, we should be further along based on what
But-
I'm hearing.
Yeah,
it's
at some
because
point
shit
we-
like Baghdad burns down, and there's some dark times in our history.
I think it's mostly just that we're
Species.
lazy fucks now, and everything's too automated. Like these people were and also
They're hard
here's the real
workers.
problem. Actually, we're too entertained. These people didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything to do.
they could look at the stars.
Yeah.
That's
this-
what they did. They mapped out the whole fucking sky because they didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah, but they could also see more stars. Than
They
we
did a
can.
lot of drugs too.
You can go, 40 minutes outside
I
of town
know.
and see all the
Real
stars. you
stars
need.
are incredible.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the first time I really saw the moon, it blew my fucking mind. Like, do people know about the moon? Like, it is a banana.
Not many people we know, probably.
Oh my God! It was it can cast a shadow. The moon. You can have a shadow from the moon.
If
Oh
none of
my
the other
God.
lights are on, yeah.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Does that mean 6 more weeks of winter?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why not? It means you're pregnant, actually.
It means you're
A
pregnant.
moon shadow means
Baby's
fucking-
coming
you're-
out.
you're knocked up.
6 weeks later.
They would also just look at your boob veins just to see. They'd just get in there and be like, yeah, looking
That could also mean you're on your period.
looking bluer today, looking extravascular. I don't know what they were actually
They get more
testing for.
veiny.
Yeah, I feel like they can get a little roadmappy sometimes on like the first day of your period.
Okay.
Everything's just really
You know
jacked
what?
up.
I feel like that was maybe a thing that happened to me more during puberty. So actually, maybe it checks out that that's a pregnancy thing too.
What? It means your hormones are jacked up?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
that
I'm
could be.
saying. Yeah, because I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, like I actually have not seen that on myself in like years. So was puberty the last time? I have no idea. But it's possible.
Another one. This is my favorite one by far, which means it's awful.
You don't have to keep jacking.
I just like to touch things. One thing they would do is sit a woman. I think this was Egypt, but I'm not positive. The boob veins was kind of everywhere. They would sit a woman on a beer and date mash covered floor. So kind of like
a beer and date
mash, like mashed up.
Okay.
So it's like old beer and stuff. It's really smelly and gross.
Oh, God.
And then they would count the number of times the woman vomited and plug that into an equation, like vomit divided by time
That's,
over.
that's
too
not
much.
a real one.
Yeah, it is.
I
That
can't-
one doesn't work, though.
No, it does not.
Because I would vomit. I'm highly vomitable.
Yeah.
The vomitable.
They'd be like, wow, this one's really putting it out there.
I'd have to
I-
bust out
You
my
might have triplets.
compass and,
Yikes.
you know,
Oh,
just kinda
that's
do the
so
math.
horrendous.
Yeah, that's not a great one. This next one's pretty good, too.
Just wait. Like, just wait and see if she's like at
Find out-
that point.
Do we need to know that bad?
Like,
Really?
Honestly, at that point, she hasn't been getting her period. Like, just wait 3 more months and you'll see if there's a baby happening. Like, I don't, like, it's not urgent.
No, you got to sit on the frat floor.
Oh, God. All right.
It's just like an old frat house basement floor the night after a party. It's just like, all right, see how many times she vomits and then divide that by time. Yeah.
Yikes.
The next one is actually maybe even worse. But the puking one was funnier to me just because it was so torturous. But this one actually makes more sense when you think about it a little bit in terms of how they were thinking, like in terms of how the body worked. It doesn't make sense to us because we know how the body works, but
Yeah.
for their understanding of the body, it makes sense. What they would do is insert an onion into a woman's vagina.
Oh, no.
And leave it there overnight to pickle.
Oh, God.
And then the next morning, if they could smell the onion or garlic on the woman's breath, she was pregnant.
checks out.
I feel like you would always be able to.
Plus,
I think.
doesn't everybody just smell like onions and garlic the whole time anyway?
Back then, yeah, you would think so.
Yeah. Like, this doesn't really seem like it changes much.
I feel like. All right.
Well, hey, discovery is never a straightforward process, all right?
Like, whose idea was that, though? Like, this is the shit that doesn't make sense to me. Like, who came up with it? They're like, let's try this. And let's try it enough times that we've decided it means something.
It's called the
That's
scientific.
crazy.
It's called the scientific method.
But it's just random. There was no.
I don't know. Who was
What
the
do
first?
you do? Like someone makes you a doctor, you're not qualified at all, but they're like demanding answers. You just got to give them something at some point.
Yeah.
Who was the first stripper to like just shoot out ping pong balls out of her vajayjay? Like, there was one that just decided that was a good idea.
Is that real?
Yeah, there's plenty.
That's the
At
thing.
this point, there's too many.
That is the thing.
It's oversaturated.
Oh, God.
They were talking about that in the South Park movie like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not really.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
But it seems like lore. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's a real thing.
That was also in the Total Frat Move movie.
I know that. That was the first time I've
Have you
ever
guys
heard
seen
of
that?
it.
No, but I saw the script for it because I had to do rewrites on it.
oh, nice. You actually.
didn't see it?
So you have credit for that movie then.
Uncredited
You
rewrites.
helped write that movie.
I tried.
Boy, howdy. Are we
you
allowed to
didn't
talk about that
see-
yet? Is our
We don't. What are they going to sue us with? A different person owns it now.
yeah.
And
Have you hadn't seen any cut of it?
no, I saw the trailer. I read the script like 10 times.
Yeah.
So
I
it
saw
was.
an unedited cut.
I want to watch the Netflix version
I
when I'm at the right time.
feel like I need a few years before.
Right.
We put that.
Before
We
it
might
gets
have to put that on Patreon
Totally fucked.
with our reaction.
Yeah, I watched an unedited version and they asked me for notes and I was like, not too keen on the rape, and they were like,
What?
"Oh, it's too late." And I'm like,
well, that's
cool.
in there.
Well, yeah, there's no way we cut that out.
To be fair, it
It's
was a
pivotal
woman
part of the
raping a
movie.
man.
It was a woman raping a man, but it was
A key plot point.
it was still a rape. I was like, my one big note is I wouldn't
Yeah.
have done that, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, we're gonna keep that." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool."
Well, it was written by a 35-year-old Canadian GDI. So,
I have not heard the
It's a
term
goddamn independent for
GDI
those
in
unfamiliar.
So long.
Yeah.
Which probably most of you are unfamiliar with at this point because it's been.
GDI.
it's important when you,
been a-
it's important. That's an important term to use given the context of when the film was being written.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the culture of the time with all of that. I mean, it was just like a guy who had no idea.
I just like had a memory. I like forgot that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Fucking G.
GDI.
It's GDI.
Is that
I have
like a
some-
military thing? Like,
I have some other just random. Egypt was really just full of wonderful pregnancy stuff.
They knew a lot of shit in Egypt. That was
smart.
like a really
They were smart.
shit was popping in Egypt
Yeah.
back then.
Greek was a little more. The Egyptians were pretty good with medicine. I feel like the Greeks were not great on the medicine. Good on other philosophy. Maybe they were kind of good at maybe like mental health a
they had
little
to deal
bit.
with the Spartans
Okay,
just kicking
yeah.
everybody in
Yeah,
the
but
holes.
not so much. The Egyptians
Sure.
had kind of figured out the body a little better,
Right.
considering that they could preserve them for like 6,000 years and
Right.
shit.
That's true. They come back.
Yeah, able to get the brain out through the nose, able to take all the organs out. It's actually weird that Egyptians had so many wrong ideas about the body when like they regularly cut the bodies open to take all the organs out.
Yeah.
And we're still like, well, they just like had to open it and be like, well, I don't know what any of this shit is, but just start putting it in jars. We're gonna bury him with it, but not in him.
Right. The only way to defeat him too is Brendan Fraser. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Rachel Weisz. Give her
Of
her
course,
credit.
of course.
Don't be
Well,
se-
only for
don't-
2 movies.
Don't be sexist.
She doesn't.
Well,
show up the third movie.
the other one wasn't Egyptians.
Well, yeah.
It was the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Probably my best.
You know, not a mummy
My
girl.
favorite.
No, I am very scared of everything. Like, and I feel that movie scared me. I
Well, it's
saw,
based on a true story. So.
I saw the first one whenever, we were kind of kids, right? When The Mummy came out.
Yeah,
the
I was
first
like
one.
in 8th grade, so yeah, you would have
Yeah,
been
so
definitely
I'm
younger.
6th grade probably.
Yeah.
Jesus, how
and
old
I
are
feel
you?
like I was very scared and I've never seen them again.
I could see that being scary for a little kid for
Yeah,
sure.
I think-
For me, it's like if Disney made Indiana Jones.
Right.
Are you just scared of the beetles that are in the
The
movie?
scarabs.
The scarabs.
Yeah, those were
I
the
don't
scariest
know.
part.
I don't remember. I just remember feeling afraid of it, and I've never seen them.
Well, it's
again.
also like it's like a zombie movie for the first half, and the zombie's like super powered. It is
Right.
a scary. There's scary moments in it. Where you're like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
I scare very, very easily. So
Yeah. I can't wait to scare the shit out of my cowardly child with it.
don't do that. I hate it.
Gotta toughen him up.
You have to, especially if he's going to host this podcast.
He's
Yeah.
gonna host it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Well, once he comes out, we'll give him a month, and then he
Dan's
has to
just
bring
gonna-
his topic.
Yeah, Dan's he's on. Dan's just gonna berate him for an hour.
Like clearly, you didn't prepare.
Hey man,
Stupid baby.
Oh, he's gonna
poor
be
guy's
so
been living
cute.
inside of a sick woman for like half of his life already.
He's got.
Oh,
plenty
I'm
of
sorry,
time.
Veronica. He's not alive.
Yeah.
I didn't, oh,
He's a tumor.
I didn't say he's.
That was word for
I
word.
didn't say your baby's a tumor.
No heartbeat.
No, I'm just sorry. So some miscellaneous ancient Egyptian stuff on just pregnancy and getting pregnant stuff. They assumed women with wide hips and large, firm breasts would have an easier time just getting pregnant than
think that's true.
than
That-
skinny
Yeah.
chicks.
I
I think that's true.
I think men prefer that. So yeah, I think they have an easier time getting pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, there's like in the hieroglyphics, those chicks are pretty skinny, like
Birth
the royal
given
ones.
hips.
You know, it's not like
yeah.
they're not thick in the hieroglyphics.
But was that just stick figures or what?
No, it was fairly accurate for
Okay.
They didn't have
body.
enough paint.
I mean, maybe they wanted to save time. Really, right? Why not? But
I feel like I've heard that about like fertility and like a curviness, but I mean,
You never
it
know.
might just be a total it might just be, the grandmother who heard this from
yeah,
her grandmother.
no, it's if your breasts, if the D-cup women get pregnant more in September is the rule. Or something. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, why not? They also putting a date in the vagina was a cure for sterility. Not a real one, but
Right.
Like maybe this will work.
Very date heavy.
Yeah, well, it's a date heavy culture.
Sure.
Another cure for sterility was to rub the belly and thighs with menstrual blood.
Oh.
Not necessarily yours either.
Just anyone.
Just anybody's.
Well,
yeah.
probably you'd prefer
your own.
not sterile woman's menstrual blood.
Oh.
You know? Like,
yeah.
You got to get the good stuff.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get the logic. Gross.
And
Gross for both of you. Like,
it's
like,
not good for any. Well,
what kind of bestie do you have to be like, fine, I will give you my menstrual blood.
what if they're like
period all
good
of
best?
you.
What if it's like a sweet thing? It's like, okay, I will give you my menstrual blood.
It's gotta be.
Hey, your blood bay.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
It's your blood friend. It's your BFF. Your blood friend forever.
Yeah.
Just right there doing it. And like men aren't very, I was going to do this more, but men aren't very involved with birth or anything like that at all, aside from just getting
raising
pregnant.
the child.
Yeah.
or-
So the husband's probably like, yeah, I'm going to the beer hall, because there were beer halls in ancient Egypt. You guys play with your blood or whatever. I'll be back when this is long over.
Oh, speaking of, I'm sure I already know the answer to this question. Nothing for male sterility, right?
No, there is
There
a
is.
little bit, but there was actually an article I read where they were like, they did think, so that would only be really within not getting an erection, because
Yeah.
anything else they assumed was the woman's fault,
Right, of
because
course.
so much of pregnancy had to do with the woman. They were like, it's got to be her fault.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that more later, because there's some good stuff on that.
Okay.
Let's see. Egypt actually had like birthing centers.
Love that.
Yeah, they're very
What are they doing? Like
forward.
Lamaze?
Yeah, there was like nice houses you could go like and give birth, and they're like little birthing room, or on the roof they had like a shaded patio where you're like giving,
Okay.
yeah, and
Little midwife?
also
Doula?
yeah, and also if you needed to make sure your kid was healthy, there's two things you could do: rub the kid in menstrual blood after it was born, or while you're pregnant or breastfeeding, eat a mouse.
Sure.
Yeah, eat a mouse.
Yeah.
Not
no,
a
I
rat.
see that. I see that logic.
Yeah.
It's got to be a baby mouse.
Which is, because the mouse is so full of diseases. It's like what I did with Courtney. She was like, should I get the vaccine? I'm pregnant. I don't know. And I was like, put diseases in your body to make the baby stronger. Make it fight to be alive.
How you feeling today?
I feel okay. I was a little bad earlier. I had to take a second shower because I was just kind of like clammy, sweaty all over. Now I feel fine. She's still not great though. So I'm just going to go home and chug more water and emergency and make her drink some. Courtney does this thing, and I don't feel bad saying this because I'd say this to her face on this podcast, where I get mad at her all the time for this. Not like mad, but I get mad at her all the time for this, where she'll be like, just on any given day, she'll be like, I don't feel good. I have a headache, and I think I might have a fever. And this will be like when I come home from work or something.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I was like, when that starts? She's like I kind of woke up like this. And I'll be like, did you take any medicine?
Coop, can you
And
actually, can you cut this to the point where it just says, when I come, instead of, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. For the socials.
Yeah.
I'll be like, did you take any ibuprofen or drink any emergency or anything? And she'll just be like, no. And I'll be like, take fucking medicine. Take the medicine. You have a jug of 1,000 ibuprofens here. You shouldn't have headaches or a fever.
You know what would be nice is if you just brought her some medicine.
It's there already. And I do. I like bring home soup and shit all the time. And then I ask her, I'm like, what have you been doing to help yourself today?
I don't know. When people are sick and like you just want to be taken care of.
You could take care of yourself a little bit too.
Yeah. I mean, it seems
Just
like
a little bit. Just a little bit.
your fetus could do something about it.
Yeah. Well, the fetus has been kicking today. I was like,
Kinda
he's probably
make a
like,
run
what
to
the
the
fuck's going on in
pharmacy
here?
Oh, I can't. When are you due?
September 4th.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah. If the baby's not born, if the baby's born before September, she doesn't get full maternity leave.
What?
Because
Why?
September's her 1 year with the company as a full-time employee.
You've got to be kidding.
No.
Right to work state, baby.
Yeah. So we got to keep that baby in. And it's
Oh my god.
And it's a
Do
terrible.
they have any ideas on how to keep the baby in longer?
Well, they've already told us that pretty much no first-time mother gives birth early.
Well, you push it back
Okay.
in.
Yeah. We were at talking to the people the other day, and I was like, say it starts coming out on August 31st, late at night. Let's say it's 11:50. Mm-hmm. Can we fudge that birth certificate by like 11 minutes? Would you do that for us?
No, because then it's going to fuck up their birth chart. They're going to need to know this. Someday, some girl is going to be like, what's your sign? I need to put it into my Time Passages app, and they're not going to know the right answer.
Well, considering I was talking to a midwife, she would probably agree with that.
Exactly.
All the astrology bullshit.
What do you mean bullshit? Yeah,
Me.
yeah. I'm on V's side here.
Thank you.
Explain yourself.
I believe in Jesus Christ, our
Who?
Lord and Savior.
Well,
Not familiar.
no.
Jesus Cristo,
No, not
Son of
ringing any
God.
bells.
We'll get into him in a bit.
Okay.
So anyway, Aristotle had a few thoughts on having a boy versus having a girl real quick. Aristotle, famously one of the smartest men in the history of
Him, Socrates,
Sure.
Pluto.
Aristotle was the GOAT. It was Socrates, right? Socrates, then Plato, then Aristotle.
no, Pluto, the dog.
When Socrates, Plato, Aristotle.
Plato.
No, it's Pluto. I'm not talking about Plato. I'm talking about the dog. The dog's
dog, Pluto.
one of the smartest people in the
Aristotle thought that having a baby girl was the result of abnormalities. Essentially, at some point, the woman like fucked up during the pregnancy and some stuff went the wrong way.
Oh my God.
So
I'm having a visceral reaction. I hate that. Some people still think that.
So basically, having a girl is basically like the equivalent of fetal alcohol syndrome.
What? Okay. What?
Just you smoked crack while you were
So
pregnant
he
and it
just
came out a
thought,
girl.
Like, what?
He just wanted a sausage fest.
Probably.
That's what it's.
Seems like he wanted
This
more
just
dudes.
reminds me of like China when we were kids,
Yeah.
getting rid of all their
Throw
little
the
girls.
whole baby out.
Now all those men are like, oops.
There's no chicks.
There's no girls.
Yeah.
We didn't think that one through.
No, they did think it through, and here's why. They purposely made sure there were less women, so there were a bunch of disaffected, pissed off men. Then they're going to get those men in the military, go to war with the United States, and we're going to be fighting a bunch of furious virgins who want to take our land and our women because they don't have any of their own, and we're not going to win that fight.
Yeah, we're too comfortable right now.
Cool.
Yeah, they're playing the long game.
Tight.
He also thought that men with thicker sperm were more likely to produce males. So if you're pumping out Jell-O, nothing but boys. But
Was he getting a little?
I can't.
Was he getting a little taste test, or like what was he doing there?
yeah, you kind of had to. You put it between the thumb and forefinger,
Stop
and
it.
just how
Throwing a
long you
little
can
lick,
get
yeah,
it. Yeah,
throwing a little lick.
yeah. But let's get to the Bible.
Sure.
Yeah,
We're not there yet.
We're on the Bible now.
Oh yeah, we were just all
Okay.
through BC. there.
Two great things from the Bible. First off, do you know why childbirth hurts, according to the Bible?
Because of Eve.
Because of Eve, dude.
Yeah.
She ate the goddamn apple.
Yeah, to the woman, this is a quote from the Bible. To the woman, he, the Lord, said, I will sharply increase your pain in childbirth. In pain, you will bring forth children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. So kids were just gonna slide out. No big deal. And by the way, the whole Genesis story with Adam and Eve has like weird parallels to like evolution and stuff like that. And maybe they just knew this when they were writing it because they see animals give birth all the time. Animals give birth fairly painless and easily compared to human beings. Like pretty much all animals. It really does just kind of slide right out.
Well, Adam, in theory, or not in theory, I guess just in reality, he just has sex with his rib.
Right.
He's just boning his bone.
He took a rib out and then got himself off. Marilyn Manson style.
Ew. Let's talk about that original sin for a second.
Sure.
What was it?
Talking snake.
She sought knowledge.
For her husband. She wasn't even getting it for herself.
She sought knowledge, and he was like, nah, nothing could be worse.
To be fair, he didn't want either of them to know anything,
Right.
which to me kind of makes sense as an origin story. Like human life got worse after we woke up.
We were awakened.
Like after we like started to realize we existed, we weren't just living happy-go-lucky monkey lives.
Listen, if a talking snake is going to offer me an apple, I'm not going to say no.
Well, no. Well, he wasn't even a snake yet. God turned him into a snake for doing
Right.
that.
Well, snakes had feet, right?
Yeah.
And then he took away the feet from snakes.
Honestly, thank God that God did that. You really want to see a snake with feet?
That'd be weird.
Just,
Wait, thank God that God did that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking snakes' legs away. Who knows what they would have been capable of with
Maybe they would have.
multiple
Probably
limbs.
nothing. It's probably would just be a lizard. Like that's
It's just a lizard.
that
gecko.
still
Just a-
exists.
yeah. Just a lizard. There was also a story from a non-canonical book of the Bible written in about 145 AD, in which the actual birth of Jesus story, it's just Joseph and Mary and some barnyard animals, I guess,
Sure.
in a manger or whatever.
Away in a
Yes,
manger.
the very song I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
That song's bullshit.
What happens in March, right?
Yeah, the census was most likely in March, so therefore they were heading.
Well, because when was the conception?
We celebrate that in May.
That's what I thought. It was May. So then,
We celebrate it in May because that makes sense for December.
oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
believe
then-
it's
all right.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
when-
because May Day is
May
that's
Day?
what that.
That's
Is it?
actually what it's for. Yeah, Gabriel comes to the home of Mary, sneaks in
Tosses
through the
one in her.
window, tosses one in her.
So, but in this one non-canonical book that they found,
Doesn't have to pay child
Joseph
support.
is actually Mary's sitting in a cave. It's still in or near Bethlehem or whatever.
Okay.
And Joseph is like, "Fuck, I gotta go find a midwife," because men were not involved. Like it
Right.
was like you went and found a woman who knew how to do this.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, we'll get into midwives, but they really only did it like part time for the most part. Some
Sure.
people. The last time you were on the show, we talked
Yeah.
about that witch,
Right.
who was a midwife,
Yes.
part time, among
Right,
other
like-
Part-time
things.
midwife.
Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
making a career out of being a midwife.
No,
It just
no.
seems like you should make a career
Yes,
out of that.
absolutely.
It's
you
a
should.
side hustle.
But
Yeah.
there's like so many people doing babies. So like
All the time.
All the time babies are being
Yeah.
made and had.
and being like finished, pushed out, or whatever, very poorly often.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
want to be
So there
like
should be-
pigeonholed into that job.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's a lot of other career opportunities for a woman.
Was there?
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
year in the year
Midwife?
zero, yes.
It's pretty much midwife, witch,
Right.
stay-at-home mom, nun.
not at that
no,
point.
Nuns
No,
didn't
no
even
nuns.
exist yet.
Well, not in this time.
We're talking about the year
I was
zero.
talking about the witch's time. Yeah. So anyway, he goes out and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta find a midwife." She says, I can't do this. I don't want to do this."
I mean, you could wave
So
a
he
palm
finds
frond
a
on a
woman,
king.
and she's like, "You Jewish?" And he's like, "Yeah, you Jewish?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'll do it." And they go back to the cave, and she delivers the baby, and like light shoots out of Mary's vagina,
Sure.
and it's like this whole miracle. And she was like, "Oh my God, this was incredible!" And she grabs her other midwife friend, and was like, "You won't believe what I just saw. This is the wildest, you midwife, right? This is the wildest shit I've ever seen. You got like light shot out of his vagina, and she was clearly a virgin, like based on
Clearly.
just on her, like how her vagina looked, and everything. Like it looked like no one's been in there. And
Because that
and
has everything to do with what
yeah,
vaginas look
And
like.
so the other midwife, whose
How beat up it
whose
is,
name
huh?
was Salome, she refused to
sorry,
believe. Whatever. So yeah, man, you beat it up.
Stop.
Because
No.
well, if they're pregnant, because if they're not, if you're a virgin, you've only gone tip in, so it's not really beat.
Okay.
has nothing to do with
That's
that.
not.
Yeah, it does. That's what what the guy said. Anyway, Salome refused to believe that a virgin had given birth,
Yeah.
and asked
Smart guy, Salome.
some woman.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I knew bitches were smart.
Yeah, there you go. She asked to this is in this gospel. Asked to inspect Mary's genitals to check to see if they're like it looked like a virgin's vagina, basically.
Probably not after she just gave birth. I'll say
Yeah,
that,
right. Yeah,
but-
I'd say so. She found none of the signs. So she went there and it was like looked like a virgin's vagina. It poked around and was like, "This. Oh my God, this is a virgin."
God could have
But-
made things
Wait,
easier,
what are
right?
the signs?
But I don't know. It's
Hymen only?
Yeah.
Like God-
Actually, yes. Here, I'll read it. I'll read this directly. Asked to inspect Mary's genitals to check for the normal vaginal distension and blood loss that accompany birth. So in this story, essentially, like Jesus came out clean too, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, he had to. Yeah.
Yeah. She found none of those signs. So virgin. But then her hand caught on fire and just stayed on fire and wouldn't go out until she was.
Mary's hand?
No,
The
the
other-
Salome's hand.
Oh, the question.
Yeah,
the
it was just
doubter.
on fire, sticking it in water, stopped dropping and rolling. Nothing's working. And then finally she was like, okay, she's a virgin in her hand immediately. God set her hand on fire for touching Mary's virgin vagina without believing that it was a virgin vagina.
Okay.
Seems like a good
sounds
guy.
made up.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest.
I mean, he could have made life infinitely easier for
saying.
both
Yeah.
Mary and Jesus. Like, Mary could have just had a painless childbirth.
Yeah.
And
yeah, why not that?
Jesus didn't have to go through so much suffering to fucking save us. Kind of seems messed up.
Yeah, just let him get like stabbed in the neck.
And I feel like you and I have to have a talk about JC.
You want to talk about JC?
I mean, not now, but I got thoughts.
To be honest, Jesus kind of crapped out. You know, most people it takes days to die of a crucifixion.
Yeah.
And he took 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well-
So-
Right. It takes usually like 48 to 72 hours to die on a cross. They took him down in 3, and mysteriously,
they also nailed him.
Mysteriously, he
Nobody else is getting nailed to a piece of wood. They're just getting tied.
Still, they missed the arteries, and people did get nailed. Actually,
Yeah,
other people did
I-
get
A
nailed.
lot of people didn't get nailed.
It was both rope and nail, depending on the situation. Sometimes it was rope, sometimes it was nail, but their nailing was common.
Regardless, I'm just saying, somebody who shouldn't be dead for 3 more days
Yeah.
could easily resurrect.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It was a little seemed like
All
a
right,
crap
that's not
out.
what this podcast is
Yeah,
about.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
oh, the boulder's just going to easily move itself from
Whose
a
side
man.
are
who's-
you on? I thought you were on my side a minute ago.
So what Dan does is he starts just disagreeing with whatever the last
whatever
person
you
said.
say, yeah.
So if me and you were having a debate where we were against each other, Dan would just pop in and be against both of us.
I'll pick both sides.
and
And neither
I'm going to
side.
play both
exactly.
sides.
Okay.
So a little bit about midwives, because those were the people that did all the birthing. No doctor. There were doctors in ancient times, but they didn't fuck with this really.
Okay.
Unless it was an absolute like nightmare scenario. They didn't do anything.
Okay.
They had better things to do. A birth?
Doctors?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, truthfully, that's probably true. There was probably a lot of nightmare scenarios.
What do you
like
mean?
for doctors to be dealing with. Like people were probably dying all the time of like worse shit. Like childbirth. Somebody else can do it.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, doctors for the, I think like now even, they just show up to take the kid out and then they're gone.
Right.
Like they're not like there all the time.
Right.
Doctors are assholes, kind of. Not gonna lie. But anyway, that's what I've learned with a pregnant wife. Midwives is a part-time job, according to the earlier guy Soranus, who said don't put it all the way in, but also that you shouldn't fuck when you're ovulating. He said the ideal midwife. He described what the ideal midwife in ancient Greece would be: literate, with her wits about her,
Ooh.
possessed of a good memory, loving work, respectable and generally not unduly handicapped as regard to her senses, sound of limb, so you can't have like a gimpy arm.
Yeah.
You need functioning limbs and everything like that. Not an equal opportunity employer, to say the least. Robust and endowed with long, slim fingers that had short nails.
Can I just say, like, am I a perfect midwife? It kind of sounds like
Should
me.
you be getting into this?
Like a smart ass woman with all her limbs and long finger. Like it's me.
Yeah. Short nails, everything.
Wow.
You could.
I
You
can't believe
wanna?
I just found my calling.
You want to come over to my bathtub on
No,
September 4th?
I don't want to deliver your baby.
Oh, okay. Just, well, it'd be cheaper.
It would be worse for everyone. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to be friends with your wife anymore. So,
That's fine. You could have the placenta to help get your own self pregnant. I mean, you don't have fertility issues, but never hurts
true.
to just rub it
All
all
right,
over
all
you.
right. I'll consider it.
The
Yeah.
placenta is good for stem cell, right?
Stem
Yep.
cell, also country frying.
I'm gonna have to inject. Can we take your wife's placenta and just inject it into my knee?
I don't think that's how it
I have a little knee issue right now.
I think even if it was how it works, there's just better knees to put it in.
Oh, okay. So I'm not worthy of the placenta. Is that what
No.
you're saying? Okay.
Well,
'Cause
you're
you're-
really setting your child up even more against Dan.
I know,
now.
yeah. Dan's already against his kid. But these women were experts in pretty much all things birth. They knew like all the herbs and special
Yeah.
techniques. They also knew like the fucked up techniques like, oop, the baby's stillborn. Here's how to cut it out from the inside. Not like cut it out like C-sections. C-sections were actually quite uncommon back then.
Uncommon.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of, even though it has a antiquitous name or whatever.
Right, but it seems like you don't really survive a C-section that easily.
So when they did do C-sections, the woman was already dead.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to save the baby.
Oh.
They actually would just cut the woman at her throat and pull the baby out of the throat.
Wait,
that was a way.
Makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that was like an emergency,
sad.
like, oh, let's see if we can get the baby, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And they would like oil up their hands to help the woman's tissues and stuff like that. But they were still living 2,000 years ago.
Oil up the hands? I feel like if you try to oil up the hands to deliver a baby, it's like trying to catch a greased up watermelon in the pool.
That's why you catch it with your body. You got to get your, have you played baseball before? You get your body in front of it.
Yeah, I played every sport, and they always tell you catch with your hands. You catch with your body, that's a bad habit.
You got to get your body in front of it.
Bad habit.
Not for a baby, it's not.
You ever try to catch a watermelon in a pool that's greased up? It's not easy.
Could you do it with your hands?
In a public pool? It's not easy.
Have you?
Of course. They all exclusively at public pools.
Not at a country club pool. No one's tossing a greased up watermelon into Austin Country
Is this
Club.
a thing that people are doing anywhere?
I grew up on a muni. I didn't grow up on a private golf course.
Anyway, because these women were still living 2,000 years ago, despite the fact that they were tough, intelligent, badass women, they still lived 2,000 years ago. So they weren't great. They weren't always great. For example, our guy, one of the things he was really against was there was a certain practice that soreness was against that midwives would do. And sometimes when they really needed to get the birth going, they would just tie a chick to a ladder and start shaking her.
Oh my God.
Just be like, get out of, come on, we got to get it out of there. Soreness was like, I think we should quit that one.
Okay, love that for him. Like, that was a good choice.
So is that where the original "Don't Shake a Baby" came from?
Well, if anything, that would tell you maybe to shake a baby if it worked. I don't know if it did
It didn't
or not.
work,
Yeah.
so you don't shake the baby.
He wasn't into it. I don't know if it worked or not.
Just wasn't his kink?
Yeah, wasn't really
oh my God.
into it.
People are so crazy. That is so dumb.
You got to try everything to figure out what
Kinda
does and
makes
doesn't
sense.
work.
Like you need to get to the bottom of like a bag or something. You shake it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
What's funny is the only ladder tying stories I'd ever heard before this was a guy like hazing in a fraternity.
Holy shit.
Just like, oh, we got to tie her to a ladder and
I
shake
can't
it
believe
out.
this was real. Like, I can't believe the past is real.
Well, they didn't tie you to a ladder when
crazy.
you were Russian, right? They tied you to a washer machine, and then they would circle whatever.
Rushing. I thought you said Russian. I was like, I don't
When
know
you
much
rushed your
about Russian.
sorority, they just threw you up on the washing machine.
I
and
was
The dryer.
Not,
Yeah,
I was
the
not-
dryer.
Not
And they
not that type of sorority.
I
They
was
would
not
just circle
sat
all the
atop
parts that jiggled.
I don't know how much that really has ever happened. I mean, ever, yes, certainly. But
a lot of Zetas
I think
involved.
that was over by the 2000s.
I feel like, yes. That's very 80s.
Yeah, it feels very 80s.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
One other thing, just with midwives and birth in general, they were pretty much all squatting.
Yeah, I actually think that's like supposedly the best way.
Yeah. They
I
would
think,
be
like,
on...
midwives. I think might even make you do that.
Oh, so the baby just plops out. Plop.
according to our midwife, Courtney will be on the bed,
Okay.
but I have seen graphic Facebook photos. I'll show you them after this of a girl who did it in her house, and she was alternating. She was basically squatting, but these chicks would get on like basically like a toilet chair, like a bottom, like a chair without a bottom in it, and then just be like, and like drop it out.
I think that makes sense.
It might
would
be
be more
easier. It might be easier to push, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You get more like downward instead of.
And I think just like you'll be more open in that
Could be.
position.
Could be.
Certainly.
But we
Well,
got
yeah.
rid of that.
Well, yeah, a rocket, when it takes off, it's essentially squatting, right?
Yeah. But also, though, the head comes out first. That feels like a real good way to just like break a baby's neck or skull right off the bat.
Hey, I tried to hang
I don't
myself
feel
when I
like
came
they
out,
come
okay?
slipping out though.
No.
I wouldn't know.
I had the cord wrapped around my neck.
I did too.
It explains a lot.
I say for you, it explains a lot. For you, you turned out good, though.
I was a C-section, so that's why.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've learned with current pregnancy and C-sections is that a lot of times with C-sections now, it's like something like 30% of hospital births are C-sections because they'll
Wow.
just be like, fuck it.
Just yeah.
Cut her.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't have time for this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my brother both were. His was planned.
Yeah, that is, well, that's one thing with like planned births. You can't just do it. Be like, schedule it for this day, whatever.
Yeah.
fuck it.
Well, and I think it was because I was first. I'm older than him, and so my mom had I had to be a C-section because my umbilical cord was around my neck. I was 10 days late.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need to get this baby out. And then for the second one, she was like, yeah, I liked that last time. Let's just do that again. So.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
And you can be really under for a C-section, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You just
I
wake
don't
up with
know.
a baby?
No, I think she was awake, but they just really, really numb them.
Ugh, I hate.
No,
local
one day she just woke up in a back
fuck
alley
that
and-
local anesthesia shit. I forgot. We were going to talk about a couple other virgin births. Real
Oh,
quick.
yes. Some other virgin
Let's
births.
just
'Cause
quick
Mary-
hitters, yeah.
Yeah, Mary's not the only.
Yeah.
This story is not uniquely Christian that a virgin gave birth.
What you know what this tells me
To you.
You know what this tells me, by the way, that this is such a common like miracle story. That I guess everyone thinks it's a miracle that women aren't sluts.
So, you know,
Well-
the original etymology of virgin is just like an unmarried woman.
Ladies can be
Like,
freaks
it's-
too, okay, Robert? Let's not.
Not in
slut
ancient
shame.
times. They were
It's
just like,
not-
what?
It,
Why isn't there? It's funny to me, and I'm kind of sad that there aren't any stories of a dude getting pregnant, just like a guy
yeah,
dropping
how has
one
that
out
never been a story?
ever.
You know,
That's
it's,
too far fetched.
right, right.
Like,
I don't know.
that's where the line is drawn. They're like, obviously not. Like,
No, it's
of course, this jackal-headed god can put his penis in a woman and get her pregnant, but if like a man dropping one out his butt.
It's because of misogyny and because men do not want to become feminized, so they don't want to like equate themselves with like a woman's role. I bet there's a bunch of stories about like women being manly, but like
Yeah.
you're not going to find heroes that are men being feminine because misogyny reigns supreme.
You know what's funny
Faux
is
show.
sometimes Courtney will complain so much about being pregnant that I'll be like, just give me the fucking baby. Like I really like. There's been times where I've just been like, just give it to me.
Taylor will
so
never say
brave.
that.
So brave.
It's not brave. I'm just like, I'll take this pain if I just don't have to hear it. Because I can just be in pain, even if it's horrible pain, and just sit there and be pissed off and silent.
I feel like I have several friends who are like, I feel like my husband doesn't appreciate this as much, or like he does, but it's just like, well, what am I going to do? And I, with her, like, she could get pregnant. She just won't. Like, Taylor's
Right.
going to, like,
You
she
have the
needs to
benefit.
appreciate me more. Like,
You get
I'm
to churn
doing
out
this and
babies
you
at a
don't
better
have
rate
to.
too.
Who,
As
me?
a lesbian couple, you just keep churning out
Double it up.
babies. You
That'd
double
be a
up it.
funny.
She would never. Picturing Taylor pregnant is the same thing as picturing one of you pregnant.
That would be a
honestly.
good, like, kind of formulaic comedy movie, but with lesbians. They screw it up, and the wrong one gets pregnant on like a.
Oh my God. Well, okay, it would be
Like
very
starring
funny.
Amy Schumer and
like it
That's
could
a
be a funny
Ruby
little
Rose.
That was a
comedy.
Jason Bateman movie.
But God, picturing it's just like it would be a horror story if it were Taylor. First of all, when she donated eggs to her sister, she was on hormones for like 3 weeks, and like had woman levels of estrogen for 3 weeks, and it was the worst 3 weeks of both of our lives. She was like, "Is this how you feel all the time?" And I was like, yeah. She's like, "You're just like sad and you get fat." And like, I'm like, "Yeah, this is my life." And she's like, "God, I hate it. What is estrogen good for?" I'm like, "I don't know, bro."
Absolutely nothing.
Empathy, I guess.
Who needs that, really? Okay, so
What?
empathy, whatever. Just quick couple
I don't know what
couple
that
famous
is.
virgin stories. Romulus and Remus, the twin
Can't
founders of
feel
Rome.
Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Their mom was a virgin, but then she fucked off and a wolf raised them.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
They
raised
suckled
by
at a
wolves.
wolf's teat.
Okay.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. In ancient Egypt, there was a couple. Ra, which is the sun god, was born of a
Right.
virgin mother, Net. And Horus,
I've heard of Ra.
yeah, Ra's the one with the jackal head, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see, though. And then
Haven't heard of net.
Oh, Ra's the one with the hawk head. Sorry.
Okay.
And then
Oh, if my dad had a hawk head,
yeah, hawk head, bro.
pretty sick.
And then Horus was the son of the virgin Isis. So everyone was getting knocked up without doing it back then.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Just everybody's plagiarizing this story after each other.
And then here is a really fun one.
Oh.
The Firgo, the Frigo Roman god. So I don't know what that means, but whatever. This is softcore history. Attis was born to the virgin Nana on December 25th.
Whoa, on December 25th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And then Dionysus, who is the Greek god of getting shit-faced, was ironically born to a virgin. So the number one partier in the history of gods.
Was born to a virgin.
Yeah.
Okay, is that the only female virgin birth?
Dionysus?
Yeah.
That's a guy.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
I
a
thought that
dude.
was a girl. Well, who's...
He gets down.
I'm thinking of Diana,
Yeah, probably.
right? Because
Yeah.
she's like also in that
Princess?
time. No. I think there's a goddess Diana or something like
It's
that.
a purple bear, right?
What?
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
No idea. Why are you talking about
He's
Charmin
talking about
bears?
the Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
Princess Diana.
Oh, okay.
It's a stretch, I know.
Okay,
I'm
so it's
sorry.
all men born to virgin women.
It seems so, but that's
Imagine
It'd probably only be-
all these great men, no dads, no grown men to fuck them up, raised by women.
well,
Love
and a
that.
wolf,
And a wolf.
Yeah.
but a
Honestly,
female wolf.
the two-parent household is actually overrated.
Yeah, clearly in this because these are all heroes born
That's
to.
what I'm
Heroes,
saying.
Although actually
demigods.
Dionysus is an addict, so
Fine. Fuck him.
he's not really.
Whatever.
It's a good
we
time.
named like six of them or so,
Yeah.
and all of them were like real nice guys. It's because they had moms. Because their moms raised them. Their dads didn't fuck them up.
Yeah.
I think
It's kind of like the origin story of every
I
demigod.
think Horus and Ra had a lot of rape stories, to be honest. So
Right. Fine. Still 50-50 chance.
the Egyptian gods and the Greek gods really got down non-consensually.
But the
a
Christian
lot.
God, our God, the
Yeah.
one and only God.
He sent his bro over, Gabriel, to be like, "Hey, my guy's coming for you."
and he
hey,
essentially,
tap me in. Thanks.
every now and then, he would, he essentially just paid child support. Whenever Jesus needed him, like for like a little miracle, he just kind of be like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's the check. Here's my credit card.
Who, God?
Yeah.
You know, God has a first name. I learned this recently.
What, Yahweh? or
Yahweh.
whatever?
My mind is blown.
it's just
Actually, I
a
thought
different-
Yahweh was his last name. I thought it was El was the first
Yahweh
name.
is just
Okay,
the
so
Jewish name
there's
for
two
God, isn't it?
people.
Yeah.
Yahweh is like the Jewish God who is then
And then Allah.
our God, but no, that's the same dude, just
Same dude.
renamed. But El is like a higher than Yahweh.
Oh, yeah.
But Yahweh is who the Jews worship, and so therefore who Jesus would be saying is his daddy would be the
well,
one who's the Jews.
El, I read about this a long time ago, but essentially El was like worshipped by like super duper ancient Jewish people.
Okay.
By the time of Jesus, that would have been gone. It would have
Okay.
just been Yahweh. Like it wouldn't have been. There wouldn't
So
have
it
been
was
multiple.
like a rename feeling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say like El was. I think El was. Oh, it says here essentially 1200 BC to 930 BC, but by 1000 BC, by kind of like modern antiquity,
Okay.
it was just Yahweh.
Yeah. Who knew?
It's
God
pretty
had a
cool.
name. No one knew God's first name.
Yeah.
And now all of you do.
Yeah, his name's Bruce.
It's another one. But that's it. That's it. So what did we learn today, Dan?
I learned that it's always been hard to be of the female, sex.
I guess that would be the shit don't change part of this,
Yeah, no, it's just
because everything.
being a woman sucks.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
'Cause
I'm sorry.
as far as everything that happened in here goes, shit all changed.
I'm actually pretty surprised with how advanced they were with their.
Peeing on seeds,
Yeah,
peeing on
it honestly
seeds.
worked. It seemed to work. You said 70%.
70%. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we've only improved 29% on ancient Egyptian methods of.
Is it that accurate? The stick you pee
The
on?
stick is pretty
That's
accurate.
pretty accurate. Yeah.
I think even the doctors will tell you, like, if you took one, maybe take a second one. If you took two, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's a done.
Also, I
deal.
want some of those leaves that they use for birth
those
control.
leaves, those birth control leaves.
That are now-
the
that's
syphilum?
my biggest takeaway.
Right?
I
Yeah.
think it was
They're
more
extinct now.
Oh yeah, they fucked them into extinction.
So they're the lemons of ancient times.
You don't think there's one somewhere that they could kind of Lorax the situation and like harvest that seed?
Certain seeds just like store genetic information. So like seeds might not, like they might be able to find a seed in a jar somewhere and be like,
Yeah.
it's back.
Do you think the global elite just have a stash of it?
Yeah, I think the Roman emperors took all of it from what was left of it and kept it for
No,
themselves.
don't you feel that the Roman emperors would want to be knocking people up and just like spreading?
Yeah, they don't care.
Right? There's
Yeah,
there's
shit.
no repercussions for that.
Well,
with
there was a
having
lot of
babies.
famine, so it's an extra mouth to feed.
Yeah, but it's
Especially
their
in the
mouth.
Roman-
They don't care. Like
Yeah,
Well, the Romans.
they don't go hungry.
Yeah, Roma's dead.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was fine.
Lot
I
of
feel like
Romans
it's
did.
only the like peasants who
Yeah.
are trying to have fewer mouths.
The
to
ones
feed.
who can't afford more than a couple kids are the
Right,
ones. Or
right.
if you're just some like little heiress girl going to fuck at an orgy.
Oh, that's true. Little princess girls
Yeah.
being like, I'm married. I can't.
Yeah, that's true. I like to think Pontius Pilate could have just wiped his hands clean of any situation.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of use for that. Like a little rich girl. It's like birth control, right?
Yeah.
Like a rich girl, like I
Yeah.
can't get pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm only 12 and I'm getting married
Oh
at
my
14.
God. No, don't.
And then you're
I'm
dead
only
at 19.
I don't like that. They weren't like, oh, I'm so excited to marry this old man.
The marriages weren't, I think, as age discrepant as people
Really?
say.
I don't know,
There's a lot of
Joey-
times. It's not that they weren't, but I think a lot of times it would be like a 16-year-old and like a maybe 25-year-old type of situation.
Joey
All right.
Carp was like 90, wasn't he?
Who?
I don't know. Who?
Joseph.
Who?
Joseph? Like
Joseph.
Mary's.
Yeah, Joey Carp.
Oh, no, but he was definitely older. Mary was definitely a teenager.
She was
and-
14.
and he was like in his 20s, I think.
I think he resented Jesus. It's like I
Not
taught,
my kid.
I taught you
Yeah.
a skill, a trade.
I've
No,
always.
he was not. That's a mistranslation. They were unskilled laborers. They weren't carpenters.
He was a carpenter.
What?
Yeah, it just means like works with wood and other shit. Like it's just like he'll show up and work a construction. Like he's like at Home Depot looking for work. Like that's what.
Wow, that was that's your God, man. Just
The meek shall inherit the earth. There's a reason because he was meek as shit.
He's a
Like,
little
what-
self-serving.
Yeah.
Fucking poor people always looking out for themselves.
Was he like throwing up drywall? What was he doing?
Yeah, kind of. He was like a day laborer. That was his trade. Was
Yeah,
a
what
day
do you
laborer.
think he specialized
That is so
in?
interesting. I did not know
He's good
that.
with a hammer.
Yeah, the carpenter just sounded better because at some point people were like, day laborers are filthy and I hate them. And then they were like, we got to change this to carpenter.
Yeah, rebrand Jesus.
Yeah.
You know? Ugh.
But Veronica, what'd you learn today?
I really feel the birth control thing is like my biggest takeaway, my biggest learned information. And just how many there were. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
I would've thought,
they
like,
were throwing a lot of crocodile shit against the walls. So
that
to
one
speak.
is
That's-
really foul.
That was
really,
cool.
Really foul.
That was actually really cool. I thought like before this, I thought probably the best birth control was castration, but
Well, it's the most effective.
Sure.
that's true.
I mean, was there no condoms? That didn't come up.
I think the first condoms were invented in the Middle Ages.
Okay.
Maybe like the high Middle Age, like the late Middle Ages.
It's like certainly in all these like period pieces, they have some kind of condom. I feel like.
What, like
Like a
like
sheepskin or
Renaissance?
some
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
like
they
that.
weren't doing that. I guess they weren't tanning
Yeah.
sheepskin. But I mean, like you'd think they could have just tanned some sheepskin and
Right.
then get some olive oil and
I don't think that's how it started that initially.
go.
I feel like they probably just took like the trachea of a chicken or something.
well, it's the same way with like you make a sausage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. You make sausage is
Yeah.
encased in intestines. Someone probably figured it out. Like, hey, maybe I could put. It all really just comes
Maybe I
down
could
to a
put
guy.
this on my penis.
I
Yeah,
could put my
I
dick
can put my
in
dick
it.
in this. What can I put my dick in?
Actually,
that's
yeah,
how-
that's some. Like, I see that very clearly.
That's probably how most of society has progressed. Can I put my dick in this? And
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
The answer is no. Assume the answer is no.
Well, me too, yes.
Well, if it's other people or living things, but a sausage,
Right, a sausage?
a dead sheep's intestine.
You know what? do what you guys want with your little necrophiliac thoughts here. It's a little too...
Necrophiliac.
It's not
That's
It's a
not
little bit
that's not where I
dead.
was
It's
going.
a little bit dead.
It's not necrophilia if it's at that point most of the way to being food.
Is that the official definition?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people back then
Sure.
ate other people, though.
It's like, yeah, you're just fucking a dead person. You're like, no, it's fine. We're going to eat him. So it's just,
Cut off a little
Yeah.
slab.
Ew. What did you learn? What is your biggest learn? I don't know if that's part of your
yeah, it is.
questioning.
Fuck, man. The same thing I knew coming into this, which is that pregnancy is just fucking hard. Like,
Yeah, you
really
chose
hard.
this, huh?
Yeah.
No, he's not pregnant.
Well,
So
Yeah.
He
he's supposed to watch.
he did
And
insert
back in the
himself.
day, they didn't even have to watch their wives be pregnant. It
Look,
sounds
listen,
like.
he-
Yeah, I'm
made
going
it-
to be on the, well, actually, she said that I couldn't be on the business end. I had to be up by her head.
That seems
Probably
like
for
the
the
right
best, yeah.
choice.
You don't want to see her shit herself.
Yeah, she's convinced that she's like, my mom said she didn't poop. And I was like, I know your mom. She's lying.
Well, I think that they probably didn't tell her mom that she pooped.
Yeah, you also might not know. You're
I
like,
think that's a lot of things. I
It's
don't
a
think the
full
nurse.
block- like
I don't
full
think the
body
nurse comes
explosion.
back and been like, just
Yeah.
so you know, you shit.
Everything comes
like,
out
I
of you.
don't feel like
like if you're in horrible pain or super numbed up, you're not going to know that you're like a little, like some shit's coming out.
I don't think I don't think you necessarily feel it, and I think it would be so mean if they told you.
They're
Like, you know,
here's your baby. By the way, you shit. We're
In
going to
case
clean
you
up
were
all your
wondering
shit.
That thing that every woman's afraid of, you did it. Like, why? It just seems unnecessary.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me if it's just like an extra bullet point on the hospital bill, like fecal removal.
Oh,
$700.
Yeah, they're gonna ding
Someone
you
just
hard.
Like someone has to like just scoop the poop up, and
I
they
think
charge you
it
$700
happens,
for it.
like most of the time. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then they probably charge you $700.
I can't
for it.
wait. I just do not poop enough. So like
Morphine,
frankly,
$3.
Like I look forward to
Shit
it.
scoop, $700.
Well, you know, it's a little, yeah, literally.
Painkillers.
You're gonna wanna like get your pre-pregnancy body back as soon as possible. So
You might as well start immediately.
yes,
What
yes.
are your thoughts, V, before we get out of here, on women who are like very pregnant still working out?
As a woman who is not at all pregnant and doesn't work out, I don't love it, but it's mostly because I feel bad about me.
Are they supposed to run on the treadmill when they have a
Not
baby?
when they're that pregnant. No.
I think it's fine as long as you always did. Like you're
Yeah, oh,
not-
yeah. You
you're
can't
not
start running.
You can't start, but if you can keep up the same level of exercise that you always had.
Also, those chicks are either genetically won the lottery or are psychos.
Right.
Because I live with a pregnant woman, and to imagine her doing any exercise other than walking the dogs right now
Yeah.
is fucking hilarious.
Is she looking super pregnant? I haven't seen her in like 6 weeks.
Very much showing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her boobs, her bras don't fit anymore. So
Good for all of you.
Front loaded right now. Honestly, neither of us are that into it. We both liked her old boobs better. She wants to get them back.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. This kid's ruining my wife's rack right now. It's,
Okay. I hope he listens to this someday.
me too. I mean, I've already had to create so much content, knowing that my parents might be tuning in.
Yeah, and now your son will also.
A
be
son
tuning
seems
in.
so much more so much less daunting.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you mold them and like what they find funny and what
Right.
they like. It's fine.
Listen, no one's listening to podcasts in 18 years from now.
Actually, that's
No.
true.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No one's listening to this podcast this far in.
Well, he'll be the next generation, so hopefully he's out robbing liquor stores and shit and fucking and shit.
Oh, finally! I hope we start that shit up again.
Yeah.
honestly.
100%. But for Dan Regester and Veronica Ruckh and the absent Jake Goldman, I'm Rob Fox, and
you just got self-served.
he soft served a big one this weekend.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. We'll catch you next time, guys.